Yes, guys, how we doing? Welcome to Roma Theory. Big game ahead this Sunday. If you hate Juventus, what was the motto again? If you love football, you hate Juventus. That's a phrase that I kind of grew up with in my family, among the Roma, of course, fan base. It's a very popular motto, and it's a very, I should say, used motto if we're speaking about Roma. I cannot stand Juventus. I hate Juventus. And we must beat Juventus on Sunday to continue hoping, dreaming, praying for that Champions League spot in a direct encounter. Because if before this game we did win, we were very good against the, low table teams. Now is the time of the year where our calendar becomes more complicated and it becomes more head to head, in a sense that if you lose, you're out. Because you're going to lose a direct game against one of the teams that you're competing against to qualify and get fourth. So look, I am very much looking forward to Sunday because I think Sunday's game is, first of all, I'm going to put it now, very hard to predict. This is going to be a very complicated analysis of the game. You know me, I like to get things right. I like to get things precise. This is not an easy analysis. I stayed at home today, I had no lessons, so I spent quite a lot of time looking at this game. And what I think will be the key for either side to win this game. Let's just say that whoever wins on Sunday is in paradise. Yes, I think if we win on Sunday, we would evolve into the final beast to beat. You know, in video games, when you kind of level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, then you get to level 10, and to win the game, you gotta beat the main boss, the big boss. Well, I think if we win on Sunday, we would be the big boss to beat for other teams, because winning on Sunday would put us very close to a Champions League spot. It would allow us to prepare a derby in the best way possible, and it would tell these players, it would ring an alarm in the head of these players going, fuck, I'm very close. Like, winning on Sunday means winning against the team that you're competing against, knocking them down, and potentially delving them deeper in that crisis that they were, which now they seem to have resolved with Tudor. But that's something that we will have to speak about when analysing this game. Can't wait. Hit the like, subscribe, 100 likes, because if you love football, you hate Juventus, and I'm assuming that everybody watching this video hates Juventus. So hit the like, let's prepare for the game, subscribe. Also, I filmed a podcast today, quite a long episode, on a Juventus fan channel, which will be out in a few hours. The hosts were actually Canadian. It was an English Juventus fan channel, and we spoke about this game. They invited me on. So that episode will go out on their channel. I will put it on the posts of my channel, and I will kind of link to it on my Instagram story. So make sure to go follow Roma Theory on Instagram. Yeah, it was fun to have a discussion with them. It's normally not great to speak with Juventus fans, but when everything is, I should say, nice, chilled, pacific, then it's great. And they were great lads. So their YouTube channel is called The Dive, so make sure to go subscribe if you haven't already. Also, before we get into the final match preview, thank you to ComAve for sponsoring this video. You know ComAve, you're used to them. They are the biggest sponsor of this channel. They've helped a lot with content creating this season, giving me tickets, VIP tickets to film some experiences, both on Instagram and on YouTube. This little live stream is sponsored by ComAve. If you're new here, ComAve is where Roma fans can win exclusive prizes such as VIP tickets and incredible experience like going in the tunnel to meet the players all through the world of e-commerce. All I'm asking you to do is to scan that QR code that you can see on the screen or click the link in the description below and follow them on Instagram, because they're going to keep you updated with some giveaways and some of that good stuff over on their social media accounts. So thank you to ComAve. Literally give them a follow, takes 2 seconds, and it's free and it's good for them, for us, and I guess for you as well, and for this channel. So yeah, do that and it would be great. Right, Right, let's look at the game. It's time to analyze this game. Hello to everybody. Hello to Chris. Hello to Angol. Hello to Swan, Giulio, Neno. Hello to everybody. Right, looking at this game, man, this is a hard game. This is a hard game. Yeah, I want to start off with the title. The key to this game is pragmatism. And I am pretty sure that that isn't my opinion, and that will result in being a big statement. Whoever wins this game, if there is going to be a winner, is the team who's more pragmatic. Now, what do I mean by this? If you look at the last encounters between Roma and Juventus, they've all been very, very, very low scoring. 0-0 in September in Turin, 1-1 last season with De Rossi in May, 1-0 to them in Turin, 1-0 to us at home. The last 5 games, after, you guys remember that crazy 4-3 loss against them in Jose's first season? After that game, it's only been tight 1-goal difference games. This is a game that if you want to win, you need to be pragmatic. You don't need to be stylistically perfect. You don't need to be a master of tactics. You need to be pragmatic. You need to get things done. And getting things done, being pragmatic, to me, I'm looking at Sule. I don't want Sule to dribble around and kind of do that big hit in front of the cameras. No, we don't need that. On Sunday, we need pragmatism. And to be pragmatic, you gotta be careful, you gotta be concentrated, you gotta be bitchy, and you gotta want it more than them. Because Juventus will be pragmatic. Because Juventus will play a game aware that if they get a draw, it's great for them, considering the calendar that they have towards the end of the season, considering what they lived, considering that a draw would mean beating a team which is unbeaten stopping a team which is coming from 6 consecutive wins and isn't beaten in 2025. So Juventus, I don't think will necessarily push for the win. A draw for Juventus is good. And Igor Tudor is pragmatic, and that's the difference. The reason, if this game had been played 2 weeks ago under Thiago Motta, it would have been a win for us. It wouldn't even have been a discussion because they wanted Thiago Motta to get sacked. A team that doesn't want a manager to get sacked, who doesn't lose 4-0 to Atalanta at home and then 3-0 away at Fiorentina. So they wanted him sacked. If this game was still under Thiago Motta, we would have won. But things have changed. Tudor, unlike Thiago Motta, is somebody who is more pragmatic. I mean, Thiago Motta's more ideological. Thiago Motta's more like, this is the way I want to play. In order to achieve results, we have to play like this. And which is the reason he got sacked, because he can't do that at Juventus. Juventus means winning games, no matter how you win games. Which is the reason why Thiago Motta didn't work out, because Thiago Motta was ideological. Thiago Motta was like, I dictate what to do, you follow me. You follow me, I dictate the way you play, and we must win games how I want them to win, how I want to play. Tactics. Tudor is the opposite. Tudor is Allegri type manager, Mourinho type manager. Pragmatic. I don't care how you play, but you have to grind it out. Okay? And Juventus are great with these type of managers. So the reason I say be pragmatic is because Juventus will want you to control the game. Juventus will want you to control the game. They will leave you the ball. As I said before, Juventus won't massively push to win this game. I'm convinced by this. So the ball is in your hands, in a sense that you need to know what to do with the ball, and you need to be efficient with what you do. You have to be pragmatic. The word of the stream, the key word on Sunday is pragmatism. If you want to look good, if you want to kind of get that camera shots for that skill that you do, no, you're not going to win it. They're going to defend. They're going to play a low block. They're going to play a low line. and they will exploit chances. They will exploit corner kicks. Okay, so pragmatism is key. I expect a close game. Another reason why we'll have to be pragmatic on Sunday, and another reason why I see a closed game on Sunday, not because this game, this encounter historically has been a very close encounter with low goals, apart from that 4-3, which was a surprise because it was Mourinho against Allegri. So you're like, how on earth did a Mourinho against Allegri game end 4-3? No idea. But that game was a weird one. We were leading 3-1 at like 80 minutes into the game, and then we lost 4-3. I still have nightmares of that game. I remember that watch along as if it was yesterday. De Gea with the winner. But these have been close games. The other reason why this is a close game is because I think on Sunday there could be a rhetoric between both the two teams of being scared to lose this game. Because for Juventus, losing this game means going back. You know, Juventus need consistency right now. Tudor got appointed, great, but he hasn't much time to get things going. So Tudor needs to be win-win-win-win if he wants to bring Juventus in the Champions League. So if Juventus lose, not only would it clash against their Champions League hopes, but it would bring them back morally down. And at the same time, if Roma lose, Champions League is gone. So this is a game which both teams will be scared to lose. And when both teams are scared to lose, what normally happens is a low-scoring draw. 0-0, 1-1 type game. So winning this game would be massive. Winning this game would be massive for us. Winning this game won't be easy for us at all. Because, yes, okay, I agree. Juventus are not under Thiago Motta. Juventus have changed. Juventus... I mean, it's too early to say this. I also agree. Because they won a bad game against Genoa. So to say that Juventus are fully back, no, they're not fully back. But they will definitely be more, psychologically present in games. Because they will need to get Champions League football. If Juventus don't get Champions League football, it's the ultimate of disasters. So, and the other thing here is, on paper, we've got two very big misses. Dybala and Salamaker is out. Is I think a bonus point for Juventus. I think on paper, technique-wise, winning the kind of technique-wise, on paper, if you compare the two teams, I think Juventus have got a better side on Sunday. Because look, Juventus have got players. Juventus have always had a good team this season. It just hasn't clicked. So we are missing two very big players. And I always say this, but this unbeaten streak will have to come to an end. Law of big numbers. We will play with this great advantage, which is this confidence boost and this acknowledgement that Champions League maybe isn't that impossible. But the bad thing about coming from so many consecutive wins is that you're playing with kind of a heavy bag on your shoulders, in the sense that you need to get another win to continue this streak, and that can weigh on your shoulders. What we must do is exploit their defense, because Juventus' defense is terrible. Juventus fans know this. I spoke with Juventus fans today and they agree. Juventus' defense is terrible. They're missing Bremer from the start of the season, and in this game they're missing Gatti as well. So Juventus are going to be basically halved in defense, and that needs to be a bonus for us. We must score, I would say, also first in this game, because then Juventus will close down, kind of absorb themselves in defense. So score first, be pragmatic, and exploit their defense, because their defense is going to be marginalized in this game. Of course, Juventus up front are a good team. Yildiz, Nico Gonzalez, Vlahovic, Kolomwani. That's talent. The player which I like the most in their team is Kefrem Thuram. I think Kefrem Thuram is an unbelievable player. My dream is to have Manu Kone and Kefrem Thuram play together at Roma. That dream won't happen because Juventus won't sell Kefrem Thuram. I mean, if Juventus don't qualify for the Champions League, I see them selling big players, but Kefrem Thuram is a gem. Kefrem Thuram is a great player. I think he's their best player. My strict opinion, but I'm a big fan of Kefrem Turam. Cup Miners is good, but he hasn't really clicked this season. So I wouldn't necessarily put him on the biggest threats. Look, they've got the players. They've got players that can win you the game single-handedly. I mean, people won't say Vlahovic, but Vlahovic can win you a game single-handedly with a shot, a free kick, a header. And the other one is Yildiz. Yildiz is a good player. I think Yildiz isn't as promising as kind of those IG Instagram pages make it to be. Like Rising Bowlers on Instagram promoting all of these young players. He's a great player, but I've seen people compare and put Yildiz to the same category as Lamine Yamal. No, absolutely not. Yildiz is a good player, but he's a great player. But for example, he's not one of those next gen players that I think will compete with Lamine Yamal and who else? Those type of players. Nothing to take away from him. He's a great player, can win games single-handedly like he did last weekend against Genoa, but he's not as good and as, you get the point. He's not as great as people make him to be. That's, again, my other opinion. But look, my predicted 11 for this game is this. It's this. Svilor, Ndika, Homos, Mancini. Homos announced his retirement at the end of the season. I've got nothing against him. He was never going to extend his contract. And I think he has some private issues in his family. So I think retirement is the best way for him. Best path to goal. Best path to end his career is this. My only regret is, not having had Homos before in his career. But I won't let that mistake that he made overweigh the great performances that he had with us. Yes, it wasn't the perfect of matches, but he's had his great performances, and hopefully he can score a last minute derby goal against us for us next weekend. Homos and Ndika, Mancini in defense. Angelino, Kone, Paredes and Celik back from his injury wide. Of course, Wrench back training but won't be available. Salamaker's out, suspended. Saud Abdulhamid won't start. So Celik must start. Unless you want to start El Shaarawy there, I can see it happen. But again, you need to be... this game is going to be about duos, fights, and, one-on-ones, head-to-heads. Up front, Sule, Baldanzi, Dovbek. Pellegrini, no Pellegrini for me. As I said before, the only game I would start Pellegrini back is the derby next weekend. Other than that, I think Baldanzi deserves it more. Juventus are marginalized in defense. You need speed, you need creativity to kind of beat a low block. So Baldanzi, Sule, Dovbek, in my opinion, will be the trio up front, and I hope it will be the trio up front. Does a non-win on Sunday completely eliminate us from the Champions League race? Well, if we lose, yes. If we lose, Juventus will get fourth. I'm almost convinced, because Bologna are great, but Bologna have even a more complicated calendar than us if you look at it. So if we lose on Sunday, then I do think fourth will go to Juventus, but then it will be about keeping Europa League and not falling back down. If we draw, it's not over, but again, if we draw, you would put Juventus in a position that it's kind of theirs to lose, because they'd be playing against teams apart from Bologna and Lazio maybe. But Lazio recently have been gobshite. Apart from Bologna, they would be playing against everyone where they would be better. So, drawing, in my opinion, we need to win. Look, I won't throw this until the end of the season. We said we have to win. This paper is what needs to happen in our remaining games to get Champions League. We said a win, and I don't take this back. I do not accept a draw. Look, if we draw, there's nothing I can say. I would have never even predicted us to be in this stage with so many games in our favor and so many won games. So that won't make it the end of the world. But if we want to speak about Champions League, then we must win on Sunday. We must win on Sunday. If you win on Sunday, again, if you win on Sunday, you can draw the derby. Of course, I want to win the derby, yes, and we can because Lazio are terrible lately. But if you win on Sunday, you can allow yourself a draw in the derby, which is always a derby. It can happen. If you draw on Sunday, you must win against Lazio. So it's either of the two. It's either of the two. Ideally, it would be win-win, yes. But I would say that a win against Juventus and a draw against Lazio is more important than a draw against Juventus and a win against Lazio for our Champions League. Because beating Juventus would be eliminating all that confidence that grew in them with that win against Genoa, and you would win a game against the team that you will probably compete with to get Champions League. I don't see Lazio get fourth. Lazio have run out of fuel. Lazio are going to go all in the Europa League, hoping that it will go their way. Lazio are in a very bad state right now. Their team has zero squad depth. They're going to play against Atalanta this Sunday. So I think the race right now is between us, Bologna, Juventus. So a win against one of the teams that you're competing against is more important because it would knock them down a bit more. But I mean, of course, I want to win and a win. That's not even a question. But if I had to pick between win, draw, win, I'd go win on Sunday, draw next Sunday in the derby. Yes, even if it's a derby. Because I think on Sunday, it's vitally important to win. It's fundamental to beat Juventus on Sunday. Right, I'm going to read a few comments. That's my match preview. That's done and dusted. We need to win Sunday. I'm sure Atalanta should beat Lazio and Napoli will win against Bologna. I'm sure if it all goes like this, we're 1 point from fourth. I agree, Atalanta beating Lazio. I'm not that convinced Napoli are going to beat Bologna. I think a draw in that game. But I don't see Napoli winning in Bologna. I don't. They can. Conte can grind it out. But I don't think Napoli are favourites. Bologna are a great team. A great team. One of the best results that we achieved with Ranieri was that 2-2 draw against Bologna, which we probably deserved to win. That was the most underrated game because Bologna are having a better season than last season. Bologna are gonna play a Coppa Italia final. They're having a great season and everyone is so confident in that Bologna side. So I want Napoli to win. It'd be vital for us. But I wouldn't sign on a piece of paper that the Napoli win on Monday. Crazy couple of months ahead. My Juve fan cousin is coming over from this game. Can't wait. Nice one. I love both Roma and Juve. If you're a Serie and Azzurri, you can hate Juve. You may dislike them, but please don't hate. Oh no, mate. I hate them with all my heart. I hate them with all of my heart. They can go fuck themselves. I hate Juventus or the Lazio, Napoli, and then Juventus. But it's kind of like Juventus. You either love or you hate. It's like Real Madrid. You either love them or you hate them. Why would anyone, unless you're a Real Madrid fan or unless you love Real Madrid, why would someone ever kind of root for Real Madrid to win the Champions League? Like Juventus have got the most league titles. They're boring. You see what I mean? It's kind of like fighting against the system because we all know how many of those league titles they won with aid of the system. And yeah, I mean, no, I fucking hate Juventus. I hate them with all my... I will never forget. I was about 8 years old. I was watching my game. I was about that tall. And every Sunday, my dad used to invite his friend, and his friend had a son about my age, a bit younger. And we're all Roma fans, and every weekend we used to watch the games together. And I will never forget, in that living room behind that door, Juventus against Roma, the game where Garcia did like that. I think it was 4. Oh, hang on. No, hang on. If I search Juve Roma robbed. I bet you that game will come out. What year was it? It was the Juventus. It was the golden Juventus. I remember Tevez, Vidal, Pirlo, Pogba all on the pitch. That Iturbe game, I think it was 2014, I think. 2014, yeah. I think it was Garcia's second year. Hang on, let's go. 2014. Juventus, Roma 2014. Yeah. This one. 2015, March 2015, Juventus against Roma. 3-2 to Juventus against like the best Juventus team ever. One of the best Juventus team ever. Pirlo, Buffon, Bonucci, Chiellini in their prime. Vidal, Tevez, Pogba in his prime. It was like the Juventus that if you ever beat that Juventus side, it was like winning a league. Juventus 3, Roma 2. I was that tall with my mate. I was sat on the carpet, both our fathers behind on the sofa. I have never seen a more robbed game of football than that game. It was disgusting. It was fucking disgusting, that game. That game triggered all the possible hate in me against Juventus. Go watch the highlights. Penalties which were outside of the box. Referee giving 2 minutes of added time and Pogba scoring in like 5 minutes of added time. 95th minute when the referee gave only 2 minutes of added time. Offside goals. And in fact, Garcia, I remember it was the game Garcia went like this, kind of like protesting against the system. That game was the most disgusting. That game is the definition of Juventus. Against the system. Against the system. Oh, I will never even dare not say that I hate Juventus after that. That game ruined. And if you look back at the league table in 2014, it was the 2014-2015 season. I want to look at the league table to see if that game would have changed anything. I'm not saying... Well, yeah, 14-15, Juventus got first with 87 points. Roma got second with 70 points. So I'm not saying that game would have changed anything. Juventus back then were playing another game. They were in another planet. If Juventus weren't that good, Roma would have had like 5 consecutive league titles in their hands. But it's like, man, the corruption in that game. Go watch the highlights. If you can watch the full game, if you find it somewhere, that game, anti-Juventus forever since that game. Right. We should go all the way to try and win on Sunday. A draw or loss wouldn't change that much in terms of Europa League qualification. We'd still be there, but winning would be huge. Yes. We have a lot more to gain than we have to lose. Juve is in a better position to not take too many chances and take a draw. Even if we win, we'll still be lower than them. On goal difference, we have to take risks. My mind know that Roma will likely once again secure 6th spot for Europa, but my heart dares to dream about Champions League ticket. That dream come true if we beat Juventus this weekend. Well, it's not. I wouldn't say it's 100% done if you beat Juventus on Sunday. No, because our calendar made is very complicated. If you beat Juventus and the Lazio, then I'm starting to really believe in it. I'd give us a 60% chance. But you still need to play Inter away, Atalanta away, so it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, we need draws in those games. If I were Claudio, I would give Pellegrini one more chance in the starting lineup and tell him to fight like his life depended on it, and to give him a reason to start him in the derby next weekend. Didn't you say we can only have a draw and loss for Inter and Atalanta? Well, yeah, but considering how bad our other teams have been, considering how bad Lazio have been, how bad Juventus have been this season, a draw in the Lazio game wouldn't completely like have to do it. It's normal to draw a derby, a Lazio Roma derby. You know, it wouldn't be the end of the world drawing against Lazio. It's always a derby. I hate Juventus more than Napoli. Maybe it's because my last name is Napoli. No, I've come to... When I was younger, I hated Juventus more. But in recent times, man, I've come to hate Napoli more. Yeah, 100%. We were equal on 15 points after 5 games in that season. That's interesting. Right, guys, I'm going to end it. I carried it a bit too long. I will put a post on the community posts on the channel whenever the episode that I filmed with the Juventus fan channel goes out. So hit the like, subscribe. 100 likes is the goal in this video. Get it done. 8 games to go. 8 finals to be played. One step at the time. Forza Roma sempre. I'll be at the stadium on Sunday, so hopefully I'll film something. Yeah. Bosh. Hit the like, subscribe, and catch you on Monday for the match reaction. Take care. Love you. Bye bye. Simo.